Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of The Extra Point. You see, we got all four squares filled up, so the gang is in the house. We got a ton of college and pro sports to get into today. I can't wait to get into it with you all. But first, before we get started, we have to have a word from our sponsor.
We are sponsored by May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. You can get your Colombian and your whiskey blend freshly ground and mailed to you by my daughter. She has syrup, she has t-shirts, and she also has mugs. So please, please, please continue to support my daughter and her coffee company named after both of her great grandmothers. Again, that's May Jane's Coffee, MAEJANES coffee.com.
Awesome. And the extra point is also brought to you by
Wolverine Comics. That's Wolverine _ Comics TX. Follow us on Instagram and Whatnot app. Got some new stickers here. They're huge. It actually was a mistake, but that's cool. I'll take them. That looks cool on there. So you can put it on your May Jane's coffee there in the morning. And remember that we buy, sell, and trade comics. So appreciate y'all.
All right, and we appreciate our sponsors. Shouts out to Wolverine Comics. Shouts out to May Jane Coffee. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited for today's show. We have a couple of new segments we want to unveil today. We're going to put these three in the hot seat, but they are used to that. You know how they get down. But let's start before we go into this week. Let's start with a recap of last week. Now, I know you were out of town, Coop, so hopefully you got to catch some of these highlights when you got back into town. But I'll tell you, if today's slate of action is anything like last week's action, then let me give you some advice. Go ahead and cancel all your plans. Forget the honey-do list. Get your Uber Eats app out. Go plop down on the couch and get ready for another weekend of wild college football. We had upsets. We had Texas knocking Bama from the number one spot. We had the Aggies getting knocked off by Appalachian State, costing them a playoff berth, and we're not even in October yet. And we had Marshall go into South Bend, Indiana, and hand Notre Dame yet another loss. We will get into all of that. Shouts out to the Goon Squad checking in. Shouts out to Angelo Tate checking in. Now, let's start with you, Michigan Mike. Of all the surprises from last Saturday's action, what was the biggest surprise for you?
For me, and I know Tasha's going to disagree, but I'm going to go with Alabama because we had talked on the side about this. They just didn't look impressive. Texas was playing with a hurt second-string quarterback, and still struggling to get out of there. Now I know Texas. It was a hostile environment, but it ain't that hostile. So Alabama definitely showed some blood there, and kind of showed everyone like, oh, okay, well, let's get after them. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose sometime this week or sometime this season.
Well, Mike, it looks like the posters agreed with you because the AP dropped that ass from the top spot. Yeah. That was an electrifying game last week. Tasha, what was the biggest surprise to you last week?
It's TAMU. After Jimbo Fisher done did all that gum bumping and trying to pull out the skeletons in Saban's closet, and I mean, you got the highest payroll in college football.
Yes, you do.
And this is what happened.
Right.
This is how your team performed.
Now, Tasha, I want on an aside, Jimbo Fisher's record in his tenure there so far is pretty much identical.
It's less. His record is worse than the man they fired, bruh, man.
Kevin Sumlin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Kevin Sumlin has a win over Alabama as well. Johnny Manziel went in there and took care of business. So, like,
buyout is too much. I mean, I don't think they would,
well, if you're rich, right? Yeah. You got the number one NIL, the number one recruiting class. We'll see how far the boosters are going to allow this to continue before they pull the plug on Jimbo. But I think that should put him squarely on the hot seat. And to your point, and shouts out to Jarrell Glenn checking in. To your point about Jimbo and this being the most surprising, I'm going to agree with you real quick before we pitch it to Coop. You know good and damn well what Appalachian State does to Power 5 conference teams. How dare you come out flat-footed? Did you not learn from Michigan? Did you not learn from North Carolina? The Appalachian State going into that game, in their last 10 Power 5 conference games, they either were tied or held the lead in the second half in 8 or 10 of those games. How do you come out and sleepwalk against Appalachian State when you know that that they're coming to knock you off and pick up a nice check as well? Now, Glenn says that the Aggies don't have a quarterback, so they're going to lose again. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But Coop, you're in Notre Dame, man. Tell me what's going on in Irish Nation after the stunning loss to Marshall last week.
What in the Sam Purple Cow hell just happened last week in South Bend?
Let's bring Coop up for this. Let's bring Coop up for this.
Hey, man. That was
I need to see your eyes.
Right, I want to see the whites in your eyes.
Devastating loss in the history of college football to me.
Woo!
Going in 20 points, underdog. We got beat in the trenches. I went back and watched it. We got beat up front. Notre Dame should not get beat up front against a Sun Belt team.
Oh.
There is problems in the house. I'm going back looking at press conference with Marcus Freeman. He doesn't look like he understands what he's in. It may be a little too big for him at this time. I'm sorry to say, some people may say I'm wrong, but I'm just looking at, he's talking about we're going to do mass before the game. Hey, dude, you need to find something else. That ain't working. Hey, but we got beat up front. We're like 110 and rushing, and it just didn't look good. And now we're starting Pine today. I will go back to Mike, though, and say that Alabama game, I'm not worried about Bama. That's why they normally don't play road games in the first 4 games of the season, because they're just getting all their team together. I'm not worried about Bama because they still have more talent. And did you see how calmly he went down the field and scored? That's why you don't have to worry about.
He was cool as the other side of the pillow.
That's what I said.
See, when you got all those recruits, they're not worried. It just doesn't look like you think it should look. But Georgia may be the best team now because who they played. But hey, you playing Texas on the road only instilled in me that they are still the team to beat. Because they just went down the field like nothing was wrong, kicked the field goal, and walked out of your house. You gave it all you had. That's the worst Alabama's going to look all season.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. We got a Texas fan coming in hot. The Horns can't beat Bama and the refs. That was an intentional grounding.
But like I said, what Texas did in that game too is show the country we SEC ready. We getting ready.
Great point.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Paul, and I told you too.
I don't know if that's true. They shot everything they shot. Like, you can get up for one game. Texas may lose next week to Alabama A&M. You just don't know about those
they're going
teams.
to lose against UTSA. Let's be real.
Shouts out to UTSA.
So they will throw all that. Hey, all I know one thing. Don't schedule Appalachian State at home, away, in the corner, in the alley.
I want that rematch.
Nowhere.
Bring them back. I want that rematch.
Mike, you want that smoke one more time?
Man.
Yeah, you know I do. Come on.
So,
you don't want no parts of that.
To your point, to Coop's point, though, you disagree as far as Alabama not being in, not like this is just a blip on the radar. You think there may be concerns down there in Tuscaloosa?
So what I was saying is Texas's defense really showed up, and I was like, okay, like
that front four
they can play.
Yeah.
Now they were hanging with a second string quarter. Their offense was depleted. Like they didn't have anything. So I'm thinking you have a good defense. You put in a good quarterback or a good offense, and you can beat Alabama. I mean, we saw it last year. So
But who has that?
Huh?
You saying it, but who has a good quarterback that can beat him?
I'm glad you asked. You know,
they showed. We saw Michigan last year in that bowl game against Georgia, and they looked like third graders.
That was the old QB.
That was our backup quarterback. First of all, First of all, that was our backup quarterback.
Rings out, Mike. Snatch him out.
You lost by 35. Get out of here with backup quarterback. You lost by 35.
First of all, we lost
coulda had
not about
Garoppolo.
35.
Yeah. What was it? 32?
We lost about 20, 25. So just get it right.
30 in the hood, 30.
It was the same as
35,
Alabama. It was the same as
25.
Alabama.
Ladies
It's
and
okay.
gentlemen, while I grab my popcorn, the reason why I wake up before my alarm clock on Saturdays is because I know I'm gonna get to talk college football with these three, and I know that the Vaseline is coming out. I know the hair is going up in the ponytail, and they finna throw down. I got the best seat in the house. I love y'all for that. Oh, we can talk college football all day for the whole show, and I will never get tired of y'all talking college football. I love it. But we got to move on to the pros because Coop, you got some company on that pity bus. I'm rocking a Titans hat, and they embarrassed me last week, embarrassed the whole city of Nashville. So the NFL, not to be outdone, as they always do. Stop it, Mike. The NFL, not to be outdone, saying, "Oh, college football, you want to have some upsets? Well, hold my beer. Hold my beer." Because Tennessee blew a 13-point lead to the hapless Giants. San Francisco went to Chicago and laid an egg. We saw Cincinnati triple Pittsburgh in yards and lose in overtime in the most inexplicable way you could ever possibly think about losing. You had Green Bay go lay an egg in Minnesota. I mean, so many upsets in the NFL. We're going to go count
Green Bay is.
Cool. What was your biggest surprise in the NFL last week?
My biggest surprise?
Yes.
Definitely probably the Titans losing in the fashion that they lost.
Oh, my God, that was embarrassing.
They were totally dominating the whole first half, and it was like they went to the locker room to say, we good. We got this. I mean, it was a whole different team that came out the second half, and if Todd Downing doesn't do something about this run, Derek first, he had 21 carries. 18 of his 21 carries came on first down. How the hell you gonna run that ball every play like that?
They were on him too. Did you see him popping them? They was popping Derek Sunday too. That was bad.
Saquon did to Derrick Henry. He outplayed Derrick Henry like 2-1.
Saquon,
obvious guys that Derrick just doesn't have that explosiveness. I told y'all they're going to be sad this year. I told y'all they should have traded him instead of AJ. That was the trade this year, was to get rid of him. You mean the 10
for 155 AJ in his debut with Philly?
But I'm not worried about that because he'll be hurt in a week.
Stop it, Mike.
So that is what it is. But hey, that was the most disappointing, only because how dominant they looked the first half.
That is correct.
The Giants were ready to quit.
They were ready to quit, and we just kept them in the game. Yeah. They were like, "Oh, we down by 6. Oh, let's go for 2. Let's go. All right, let's go." Tasha, what was the biggest surprise to you last week? Was it the Titans or your San Francisco 49ers?
Well, I'm not even going to say the Titans because the Titans are kind of, I'm like with Mike with the Cowboys. The Titans gonna tighten. That's just what they do. They do not hold a lead. So I'm not surprised by that. I am surprised of my 49ers, to be honest. I don't care if we didn't have George Kittle. I don't care if our running back did injure himself. I don't care if it was the hurricane that's coming. If you're the quarterback and you're the team, you need to be able to play in any conditions.
That's it.
And without key pieces, especially against a team like Chicago. It's not like Chicago was the cream of the crop. Wasn't they last in the? No, they was second to last in front of the Lions last year. But it's no way in hell they should have went out there and performed like that against the Bears.
That was shocking, yeah.
And I'm not the one that when my team is sorry, I'm still gonna cheer them up and push them up on a pedestal. Trey Lance didn't look bad, but he showed.
Let me say it again.
I said Trey Lance didn't look bad, but he showed didn't look good.
What? He didn't look bad.
Not the guy that you said is the future, Mike. We'll get to that.
No. He is still the future. And I'm not going to change my thoughts on that. Garoppolo again. He's like I said. It's like when you with your girl, and it come that time, and then you just fizz out. That's what it is with Garoppolo. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that.
That was the Titans last week when it was time for round 2. We ate a sandwich and went on to sleep. And when we woke up, it was gone.
The organization is tired of that. You have to move on to the future. And I say this all the time. You're going to end up like Green Bay because old Lyron was mad when they drafted Jordan Love. Then Jordan Love never he did all that back and forth. Jordan Love never got a chance to get on the field. So why would someone expect Jordan Love to be worth a damn if he's never really got on the field when it counted? So I understand why the 49ers are doing what they are doing. And
Shouts out to two members said love them sandwiches. We're gonna leave that right there because that could turn into a whole nother show. Mike, now you're the one person on this whole panel that didn't hold an L last weekend. All of us was cussing, fussing, and throwing furniture out the window, but your Wolverines took care of business. Your starting quarterback is now the starting quarterback, and Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown had a fantastic debut against the Lions, but still 1-0 is 1-0. What was your biggest surprise last week as you watched the other teams play?
I'm gonna go with Green Bay. That was awful. Especially since a lot of people have them as a playoff contender, deep contender, and some even have a Super Bowl contender. I don't get that, but 7 points. I mean, I think the Vikings still have a good team, so I'm not gonna hold it against the Vikings. But I thought it was gonna be more of a shootout than just 7 points.
Right.
I think they have a lot of issues and kind of
bad.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, you have 10 receivers that are getting, 20 to 40 yards per, but like they don't have any standout right now, or at least that connection at all. And I think Aaron Rodgers is, I mean, I'm going to stick up, but not. He's been asking for like talented wide receivers for 5 years now. So like,
but it's his fault. He lost his most talented receiver.
Yeah. But I mean, we're seeing it hand like that's what he needs. Like you can have Dylan as a great running back, I think. But if you don't have that wide receivers, you ain't gonna score no points.
Right. That was an exercise in futility. I was shocked and horrified. And Aaron Rodgers was my fantasy quarterback, so of course I got smoked last week. So of course Mike is loving that. Yeah, he was my quarterback. I took the cheese head, ate the cheese, and the cheese made me sick. Damn it! All right, we're gonna move on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, last week 9 playoff teams from a year ago in the NFL. 9 playoff teams lost their season opener and are now 0-1. 8 of those teams were favored to win the game. Vegas had them favored to win, and they lost in unimpressive fashion. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to play a new game called Hit It or Quit It. Now, since there's 9 teams and 3 of y'all, I'm going to give y'all 3 teams apiece. Then you tell me if I should hit this panic button up here on that team that lost because they won't make the playoffs again this year, or should I just quit it and chill and hold on because that was just a blip on the radar? Y'all ready to get started? Tasha, we're going to start with you. The New England Patriots went to Miami 5 days early and got smoked. Looked absolutely terrible. Should I hit it or quit it? The panic button.
You said hit it means they stick
I'm going to hit the panic button.
Oh, hit it. Oh, bang.
So we're hitting that panic button on New England. Okay, Mike, Cincinnati lost in unspectacular fashion against Pittsburgh. Is it time to hit it or quit it with the panic button?
No, I'll quit it. They still have a lot of talent on there. I think they'll get it together.
Okay, cool. The Tennessee Titans. Should I hit it or quit it? The panic button.
Do like this, Coop. Hit it or quit it. Hit it or quit it.
He said hit it. Oh,
he said
no.
Hit it.
Coop,
he said hit it.
Like that. I heard the Coop says hit it.
I agree.
You agree too, Tasha, of course. All right, we're coming back to you, Tasha. The Las Vegas Raiders went and committed 4 turnovers against the Chargers. They're 0-1 in a tough division. Hit it or quit it.
I'm going to say quit it. I still think they got a lot of upswing in them.
All right, Mike, coming back to you. The Los Angeles Rams. We saw what they did on the Thursday night opener. Are you worried? Should I hit it or quit it?
Nah, I'm going to go with hit it. They looked bad, and kind of what we said, they don't really have anything to play for, so
okay.
I'm going to hit the panic button.
All right. You know what, Mike? I kind of agree with you on that one. Cool. The Arizona Cardinals got destroyed by Kansas City at home in their season opener. Time to hit it or quit it?
Man, quit all them. They done.
They don't say, so we're going to hit it then. So
Yeah,
hit the panic button. All right.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
wrap.
Tasha, San Francisco, hit it or quit it.
Quit it.
Mike is laughing. Do you agree, Mike?
Yeah, I do actually. I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they still young. They have to. I mean, it's a brand new quarterback. Like, give them some grace on this one. We said, if that's gonna be your quarterback, that's gonna be your quarterback for the rest of the season. They just got some things to work out. They'll be all right.
Okay. All right. Mike, Green Bay, hit it or quit it. You just talked about them.
Man, this is tough because after I actually have it on here to quit it, and they'll be all right. But after seeing them, I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm gonna hit that panic button.
Boom! We hitting the panic button on the cheese heads. Look, I'm hitting the panic button on my damn fantasy team. Somebody out there inbox me and give me some replacement options. I'm giving them one more week against Chicago, and then I'm out of there. 0-3, and
Bounce
fantasy
back.
football is awful.
Chicago wasn't nothing. That was fake. That was fake news last week.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Yeah.
was Dallas fake news last week? Hit it or quit it, Coop?
What you mean fake news? They are who we thought they were. They garbage. Check them.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Hit the panic
Garbage.
button. All right, let's stay right there with Dallas because it's time for us to preview our top 3 games of the NFL slate. We're going to start right here in the land of milk and honey, big time Dallas, Texas, where football is born and bred. Mike, let me start with you. Now, Cincinnati last year led the league in sacks allowed with over 50. They replaced 4 of their offensive linemen in the starting rotation. They got 4 new offensive linemen. They come out this last week and they give up 7 sacks in their season opener. Now, my question to you, you know you love defense. How many sacks does our boy Michael Parsons get Sunday against the Bengals? He had 2 last week against Tom.
Yeah, so my thing is with Parsons and how they're running them is they keep pulling him back to be more of a traditional linebacker, like half the plays, but he gets his sacks when he's on the line, coming off that edge
here locally. Yeah,
so it's like, man, what are you doing? Like, leave him where he's successful at, and then move him around or whatever. But I think we're gonna start seeing more on the blitz on the line coming through. So I'm gonna go. He's gonna have a good day. So I'm gonna say 4 sacks.
Ooh, come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Hey, the power of life and death resides in the tongue. Mike speaking to the heavens. All right, Tasha. Joe Burrow had 4 interceptions last week against Pittsburgh. Trayvon Diggs, our boy Trayvon, led the league in interceptions last year with 11. How many interceptions does Trayvon get this week?
First of all, let me get this out here. What Coop was saying about the Cowboys being garbage, they are basura caliente. They hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
We didn't lose to. Wait a minute. We didn't lose to Chicago.
Let's just get that out there.
Okay.
Let's just get that out there. They're hot garbage. Now, the only reason why I think Dallas has a chance is because
Come on, Tasha.
Cincinnati allowed 51 sacks last year.
Yes. Come on.
That boy got sacked 51 times.
Yes.
But I think their offense is still going to supersede that Dallas defense. So I really think Cincinnati is going to win that game because Dallas does not have any offense.
Say it.
Like
but wait a minute. But how many interceptions does Trayvon Diggs get Sunday?
That I'm not done.
Answer the question.
I don't think that Trayvon Diggs is going to go off like he did last year. I don't think he's going to go off this season. I don't know why. That's kitchen table talk, but I just don't think he's going to go off, even though, Burrow is doing Burrow type things. But man, it's just put it this way. I'm just so disappointed in Dallas, and I was disappointed in the way that Cincinnati played, even though I always bet on black. I'm just disappointed. Like, Dallas needs to, what you ever say, 1 + 1 is 3. As long as you thinking like that, your organization will
So you're saying 0 interceptions for Diggs tomorrow? Is that what you're saying?
0. I'm sorry to get on the soapbox. Because I had to get that Dallas slammed out of my mouth.
Right, and we thank you for that. Now, Coop, last week the Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati with Mitch Trubisky throwing for 50% completion percentage. He had 194 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Does backup quarterback Cooper Rush do better or worse than that tomorrow against Cincinnati's defense? 194 and a touchdown.
Well, technically, Cincinnati won the game 3 times, but that kicking game, so what we're talking about is fool's gold. Cincinnati should be 1-0 without 3 high snaps on the field.
We'll go to Tennessee if we don't kick it wide left like we the 90s.
But okay. Back to Cincinnati. Dallas was the only team in the league last week that did not score a touchdown.
There you
didn't
go.
have to bring that up, Coop.
And now they're back. So how do you get negative points if you only got 3 with your starting quarterback? So to me, now you get what they're gonna get negative. CD Lamb can't get off the line of scrimmage, as I spoke of before we started this season. When you're the number 1 and they put you in the spin cycle, can you get it done? He can't. Zeke is done. He ran good. He ran good.
There's opportunities.
But the situation is they could not move the ball. They couldn't get first downs with that. So what are you gonna do with? Was it Cooper? What's his name? Coop.
His name is Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. Coop the Duke.
That sounds like a winner.
I like the Bengals big. The Bengals just look rusty. Burrow interceptions didn't look. They weren't bad in it. They were like batted balls popped up. They wasn't bad. I just think he was rusty. Didn't play in the preseason. I look for him to put up big numbers this week against Dallas. Dallas is in desperate mode. They're going to get embarrassed.
And one more thing, what you said about CD Lamb, I really think, like, putting that 88 on him.
Stop it, Mike.
Do it, Mike.
88 on him, put pressure on him. He didn't even want to wear 88, but yet he's out here now making Chipotle commercials with Drew Pearson and Debo and the playmaker
over here looking at his hands.
But because
the man has a high football IQ. The way he snatched that phone from his girlfriend on draft night, the man has a high IQ.
But I'm still saying, I think CD Lamb is a very good player. But like Coop said, they're going to struggle simply because of that, not being able to get off the line, not being able to do that, and then with a quarterback who you probably didn't even practice with, he's a second string for a reason. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do much of anything.
I want to give a shout out to Jarrell for answering the question for Tasha. He says Diggs is going to get cooked by Chase, and that's what I was looking for. Thank you very much. So
we already know that, but okay. Thanks, Jarrell.
What? No. We don't know that. They took an L last week, just like the Cowboys. We shall see. Now let's move on to, speaking of taking L's, let's move on to the GOAT, Mike's boy, GOAT Brady. Now, GOAT Brady is going to New Orleans to the Superdome to take on the Saints, where he is 0-4 as a Buccaneer in the regular season. Now let's start with you, Coop. Why does Brady seem to struggle with the Saints?
I don't.
0-5, huh?
I don't understand. Yeah, they haven't. They've lost the last 7 regular season games in New Orleans, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I know what it's going to be tomorrow. Everybody's on the injured list. Donovan Smith, Fournette. Oh, Julio's back on the injured. Look at that, my guy.
We're gonna get to Julio in just a second, Mike. You say
Fournette's gonna be out. Let me see.
Hamstring. When you got a hamstring problem, you're not playing in the game on Sunday. So that's a check.
What is that anything new? We saw this all last year in Tennessee.
Big ups. Hopefully my cousin will get his just due tomorrow. But yeah, they got a lot of people. Everybody's out, and this is gonna be a quirky game. The Saints have their 2 running backs are questionable. I'm not sure what this is gonna make, but it's something about they got on this man. I don't know what it is, but they usually rush him good up the middle, and that's usually what happened. I thought Dallas was going to rush him hard up the middle, which Dallas played a decent game. They only gave up.
Their defense didn't play bad at all, holding up in the red zone.
So, and Brady hit a couple of passes last week, but he's starting to look a little aged. He didn't look.
Brady is looking like he don't want to be out there.
Yeah,
he don't want to mess up that new face.
You stop it.
I was telling my wife, I'm like, whoa, what happened? He look like Jerry Jones Jr.
Well, see, we're not gonna turn this into a Cowboys
How do I
slander
log
show.
out? How do
Speaking
I
of
log
the
out?
Cowboys, they trash.
No, Mike,
He was
no, we're gonna stop that. Now, see, to Coop's point, I do believe that one of the big reasons why the Saints have so much success against Tampa Bay is because they have the athletes in the front seven that get pressure up the middle and get Brady off his mark. So I agree with you there. But the Saints are my Super Bowl team, so I'm expecting them to beat Tampa Bay. Mike, Julio Jones, speaking of which, now Julio is no stranger to the Saints. In 18 career games as a Falcon, he's averaged 90 yards per game in 18 career games. Does he go over or under that mark this week if he plays? He's questionable right now with the knee injury, but they said he got a limited practice in yesterday.
That doesn't sound good to me. I'm gonna go under on that.
You're going under. I am as well. I got to go put him on my waiver wire. Tasha, let me ask you this. Let's go over to the Saints side. When healthy, Jameis Winston is a top blank quarterback in the NFL. Fill in that blank.
Top 20.
Top 20?
Yeah.
Does anybody disagree?
I give him top 15, top 20. She's right on.
Mike.
Yep, I agree.
All right,
I mean,
well, then let's go ahead, Tasha.
He just gets it done. You know, he's one of those quarterbacks. He just gets it done.
Can you win a Super Bowl with Jameis?
No.
I think so. It's possible.
I think so.
Look at some of these other quarterbacks.
Yeah, Flacco won one. Hell yeah, he can win.
Right.
Mike,
I haven't seen him win in a crucial moment. So until then, I'm gonna say no. Until he wins.
The moment when he won national championship, I know NFL and
I'm talking about NFL. I'm talking about NFL. I mean, Johnny Manziel also did good on the college stage.
Look where Johnny Manziel went.
Johnny
on Netflix next week.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to the Monday night matchup because y'all already stressed me out, and so might as well just go ahead and keep stressing me out and have me taking BC powders and all of that good stuff after the show.
The goodies.
That's the goodie powder. Now, Mike, we're gonna start with you. The King himself. The last time we saw him playing against the Buffalo Bills was on a Monday night. As a matter of fact, me and you was whooping some tail at the bowling alley on League Night the last time these two teams played. If you remember that, the King went off, and so did you, bowling anchor. We'll talk about that more later. Mike had a phenomenal night that night at the bowling alley. So, question to you, Mike. Last time Derrick Henry had 143 yards rushing and 3 TDs against Buffalo. Does he do better or worse if that's the standard set for this Monday night?
Worse.
Much worse? Does he at least clip 100?
I think he'll get like 101. But I don't see. If you're a Titans fan, let's just go ahead and skip this game. Just go ahead.
Man, Mike, you're going to make a huge mistake. Tasha, let me come to you. Who will have more sacks on Monday night?
Buffalo.
Von Miller,
Buffalo.
Or Clanger, Jeffrey Simmons?
Von Miller. And you know I never root against Clanger. Von Miller.
Jeffrey Simmons is the second best defensive tackle in the NFL. Jeffrey Simmons is going to be a first-team All-Pro alongside Aaron Donald. I got your answer, but I just wanted to explain to the people who are going to be watching this on.
But at least Josh Allen can move outside the pocket.
Yeah,
Ryan Tannehill got wheels. Don't make him do the jump man Jordan in the end zone.
Wheels. Yeah, them old steel wheels from them roller skates we used to have back in the day. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Ryan Tannehill played a great game on Sunday. He led that comeback drive. He dropped it in the bread basket.
You're telling me you trying to give me all these accolades of one Clanger, which I always support a Clanger. You trying to say he gonna be able to get through that Buffalo line to get to Josh Allen, who once he sees him gonna take off running, as opposed to a slow, stiff Statue of Liberty quarterback and Von Miller.
Statue of Liberty quarterback Ryan Tannehill is just as mobile as Josh Allen. Just as mobile. Cool. Help me out here.
He out there looking like Ellis Island, holding the torch and holding the names of the immigrants that come through Ellis Island.
And I agree with you, Jarrell. He ain't gonna make it out of the game. He says Bills Mafia better enjoy Miller now because he always gets hurt. He won't make it through the game.
But he
Once that
always
physical offensive, once he try to tackle Derrick Henry one time, he's
Wait a
done.
minute. When the last time Von Miller been hurt? When he tore his ACL in Denver, he came back a beast. And he wasn't hurt in LA.
He had 3 good playoff games, but he was Langston. Look, don't come in after the Cowboys segment. You come take your beat down when the Cowboys. We talking Cowboys.
That's why
talk about the Titans. Shouts out to Langston Moore checking in.
Yeah.
Let me go to you, Coop.
I think, first of all, I am terrified of what that offensive line of the Titans can do against the Bills. They're very fast. The Giants didn't put up any resistance. Even the Titans' offensive line looked good last week, pass blocking, like he had all day because that line had nothing to offer. But this line Monday night is like they like, whoa, we are waiting because I'm sure they're gonna flip Von Miller and make sure he's on the opposite side of Taylor Lewan. Taylor Lewan did not practice yesterday, so I don't know what that clown got going on.
Taylor Lewan is on his last leg. Go Blue.
He needs to retire. Yeah.
My sister said Taylor Lewan ain't been the same since he cut his hair.
And shouts out to Mama Hastings watching because Marquise Hastings hates his guts.
Hey, since he wore that Boss Hog outfit to the press conference when he got his money.
No, since Paul and them took a picture with him, that's when.
I think they're going to have to.
He revived his career. Don't you try to put that on my nephew. That was Carter's picture. That was Carter's picture. Mama Coulter, you heard it right. See if you get up on the hill the next time you come to Tennessee. They're cool.
They're going to on the edge tomorrow for real, Paul. They're going to have to move him because he's not going to have time. And I think Tannehill is terrified to run, but he's going to use his legs tomorrow.
Tannehill is just as mobile as
he is.
He's not the wide receiver he was in college.
Tell him, check.
Here's my thing with is that the new wait? Hold up, let me talk. Move. All right, we got you. Now, here's the thing about the Tennessee Titans that we do know. Every year they do this. Last year they got blown out at home to the Arizona Cardinals, and by 25 points went on to have the best record in the AFC. Right. In that season last year, the losses they did have were to the Jets, was to Houston. They lose to bad teams and they beat the good ones. They knocked off the Chiefs last year, the Bills last year. They knocked off the Rams last year. They knocked off several good teams.
Yeah.
Now, Coop, my question to you is the 10 points disrespectful knowing how the Titans play up to their competition? Are you taking the Titans and the 10 points tomorrow?
No, I'm staying away from that.
Well, you let me go through all of that to say no, I'm going to take the 10.
If you watch the games, the 10 points is probably in line because it's a revenge game. And
but we done beat them 3 times in a row. How much revenge do they need?
They know their number 1 seed won by the wayside by losing that game against the Titans last year. That was the turning point of them being a number 1 seed or where they end up finishing. So normally I'm always on the side of, hey, the Titans, they come back on games like this. But I don't see anything that's getting me excited. But that's the reason why they probably still will. I'm looking for a 7-point game, 3-point game going to the fourth quarter.
Now, you were right about that with your Notre Dame, Ohio pick. I hope you're right about that again. Yeah. Now, to Langston's point is saying as mobile as Allen, can we not forget that last year the Buffalo was down by 2 points to Tennessee on the 1-yard line, and instead of kicking the field goal, they tried to run Josh Allen? What happened to that? One clanger, Jeffrey Simmons stuffed that ass at the 1-yard line, and Tennessee got the win. I don't want to hear nothing about no mobile Josh Allen if you can't get a yard against Tennessee.
Paul, he did slip. He did slip, Paul. Let's be transparent.
Well, Langston's out is still a missed kick. We can say, oh, what happened? See, we got all these excuses for Josh Allen, but when it comes to the Tennessee Titans, they just suck.
The Titans are, and I've said this before, the Titans are the Cowboys East.
Shout out to Ray Ladd and congratulations to him on the nuptials. He says that they got something to prove. Take the 10. I can't wait to see all y'all show up next week. Don't not a marry one of y'all.
I think Coop's mad at you because he gave your Dallas grace and went for them last week. And he's like, all right, don't mess this up.
Hey, man, that was embarrassing. Hey, Tasha, don't disrespect us talking about.
Mike, why you stirring the pot, Mike?
Hey, Paul, Tasha disrespected us talking about we we the Dallas of the East. Dallas has not done what the Titans done.
Right.
That's true.
We've been to the top.
Right.
They ain't been to the top.
Right.
29
The
years.
Titans,
Titans
and last
go
time I
Titans.
checked, the Titans beat the San Francisco 49ers last year
I
with their starting
I
quarterback.
said what I said. The Titans gonna tighten.
Well, that means they're gonna be a number 1 seed again.
And we're going to drop it right there.
When they tighten up, what they gonna do?
Well, we ain't work. Well, hey, you know, hey,
Dang. Y'all-
Look, you talk.
We
Look,
knocked out the number
Langston.
1 seed. We made it to the NFC Championship game, and we would have won if I stood
Woulda.
we would have won if right, Mike.
told
Hold
you
on.
about that woulda. You would have won last week if you'd have had a quarterback.
And what would the Titans would have done? What would the Titans? What did the Titans and your cow bitches do? What did they do?
Wait a minute.
What
The
did-
Titans
what
beat
did
San
your-
Francisco.
What did your Titans
They
and
beat
your
San
cow bitches
Francisco.
do?
They beat
both
San
lost.
Francisco.
They both of them lost. But
They
he whooped Joe
beat
Lewis's
San
ass.
Fran- Mike, did they beat San Francisco on Thursday Night Football or not?
Yeah, that's
Without
right.
Derrick Henry,
We're
right?
talking
There
about
was no
something
Derrick
happened
Henry in that
last.
game.
Again, you talking about something that happened last season.
Mm.
But then
But you're bringing up the Titans' history. You said they're on Cowboys.
If you want to go back for history, the last time you came to Tennessee when I was working in the club level and I had on my 49er jersey, what happened?
You talking about
What had
you talking about
happened?
we lost to the Saints?
What had happened?
You talking about we lost to the Saints when we benched Derrick Henry because we had the division already sold up?
Yes.
Yeah, let's put the whole story out there. And yes, Ray Ladd, a 49er fan, said yes, they did, P. That's all I was looking for was just a
But
yes
now
or no.
you're not gonna get
We
that
beat the
out of me. You're
We
not gonna
beat
get
the
that out of me.
49ers.
You're not gonna get that out of me. You're not gonna get that out of me. You can go back to Houston's history.
Right. Mike is like, these mofos don't run off the rails. Bring
You
it
can
back in.
find Houston's history.
I don't know if I'm the one that started this or not. But.
You did. I told you to put you in the pot, Mike. Now you sitting back sipping your May Jane's coffee.
You can combine Houston and the Titans, and it ain't better than nothing than the 49ers have ever done. Never. It ain't
What,
nothing
you
better.
talking about the 49ers that won the Super Bowl in 1985 when you was in high school?
Okay, when was the last time that the Houston Oilers or the Tennessee Titans ever won a championship?
We in the same boat. I'm tired of people
Always.
talking about when they won the
Always.
Super Bowl when it was a totally different NFL. Stop telling me about
That was pre-expansion. The Carolina Panthers wasn't in the league when last time they won a Super Bowl. Now, I'm going to leave it right here. Ray Ladd of 49ers says, T-Sizzle, he is right. So we're going to leave that right there.
No,
We're going to leave that right there. He said, T-Sizzle,
Again,
he is right.
you can combine all
let's
of
move
the
on to
Houston
some other-
Oilers and the Titans history together, and it is
Right.
never anything greater than anything that the 49ers accomplished.
Let's move on. Since 1999, the Tennessee Titans, when they came to Nashville, have been a better team than the 49ers. That's
And the
just
Cowboys.
fact. Now, we can't go back to before the Titans were born. Since 1999, the Titans have been better than the 49ers.
teams. I'm giving you two teams. I said combine them, and they still beneath the 49ers.
How you
Still
see that?
beneath.
You ain't had a Super Bowl since the Titans have been around since
When was the
99.
last time Houston
can you help me
Oilers slash
segue?
Titans won a
Mike,
Super
can you
Bowl?
can you go?
When
All
was
right.
the last time
So
the
speaking
Oilers
of picking our
Titans?
teams,
Speaking of picking our teams, help me out of this segment. Good Lord Jesus, Michigan plays in an hour. All right. Let's go on to Miami and Baltimore. Cool. Mike, you know what? I ought to eliminate you from this segment. You started all of this. You started all of this, and you sat back and watched the melee. All right.
Melee.
No, Mike, we come to you since you got so much to say. Mike, we got Miami and Baltimore, two undefeated teams. Baltimore is laying 3.5. Who you taking?
yeah, I'll take Baltimore.
All right. Tasha, you taking Lamar Jackson in the 3.5 or Tua?
I'm scared because I think every week, if y'all ever think about this, I think every week Lamar Jackson gonna be like, I ain't playing today. Do y'all not think that?
Hey,
He got to get his money.
Hey, he said something on the interview, and when a lady asked, Dinah Rasulo asked him this week, and she asked him about playing, and he said something like,
Yes.
I'll let you know. What you mean you'll let us know? What the hell is going on with that?
So
Does that scare you away from Baltimore this week, Coop?
What scares me is I went back and looked at the stats. Lamar only threw for 213 last week.
right.
And they couldn't run the ball. I think I want Baltimore, but I'm gonna pick
Thank you, Ray, for looking out for me. But this light work, Ray.
Mike started it. Mike sent her out for some porridge with a big old red red robe on and knew it was wolves out there in the forest.
It's light work, Ray. I've been up against tougher competition because I never talk ill of the 49ers.
All right, next game where we have no affiliation with, thank God. All right, we have, for the first time in 25 games, the Detroit Lions are a home favorite. They are not an underdog this week. Right. Clutch your pearls. They are a home favorite, a 1.5-point favorite against the Washington Commanders. Coop, we coming to you first. You taking Detroit in the 1.5?
Hey, all I could think about last week was Mike kept telling me Detroit was a playoff team. So I went back, I kept watching. I got to take Carson Wentz and the Washington Commanders for the win on the road at the field goal. I'm taking it. I am not betting on Detroit. I like their running game with Swift, but yes, I ain't betting on it.
I do. I like
Commanders.
I like that. Mike, your rebuttal.
you know I'm gonna stick with my word. I think the Lions aren't as bad of a team. You know, they gave a lot of people have the Eagles going deep in the playoffs, and they gave them a run for their money. Not saying that the Eagles look great, because let's be real, they look bad.
They scored 35 points. What else you need to do to win a game?
Well,
they look bad.
They were down by
yeah,
that's true. That's true.
But I got the Lions.
Tasha, break this tie.
I got the Lions too because they actually, they put up more points in the game Sunday than they did all last season. So
you know what? I can't verify that, but that sounds right.
When I saw that score, I said, "What the hell?"
Exaggerations are welcome here. So.
Right. That sounds reasonable. Okay, now, Mike, since you talked all of this crap about everybody's team, let's throw your team in there. The barely 1-0 Eagles, and I mean barely. The barely 1-0 Eagles are 2-point home favorites to the suddenly resurging Justin Jeffersons, otherwise known as the Vikings. Mike, what your home team gonna do? Fly Eagles fly or die Eagles die?
I think Eagles rebound on this one. I think we humble the Vikings a little bit.
This is Justin Jefferson. I'm just doing a still shot of Justin Jefferson.
Man,
Justin Jefferson.
And I'm doing the gritty for those of y'all who can't see.
Justin Jefferson right here. Tasha, do you agree? Are you taking the Eagles and the 2 points at home?
Oh, no, I'm taking the Eagles because Hurts is my quarterback in fantasy.
Doesn't that make all the difference? Doesn't that change how you root for games, Tasha? Welcome to fantasy football. All right. Cool. Who are you taking in this one? The Eagles or Minnesota?
All I can say is Jefferson was 9 for 184, 2 touchdowns. Darius Slade, you are on the clock. This boy's
Hey, Darius is a bad boy, though.
Hey, they lost Barnett. They lost the defensive lineman Barnett.
Shouts out to UT.
From the field. They're up front. They're not going to be able to get to the quarterback. This boy is going to put up buckets tomorrow. Hey, they're in trouble. Cook should run wild. I got Minnesota. I told y'all at the beginning of the season, this squad, Kirk Cousins can't even mess this team up.
You know what? You said something last week.
Listen to your boy.
I watched that whole game because I had to your point, I watched that whole game last week because the Titans was pissing me off, so I had it on the side TV because I had Aaron Rodgers as my fantasy quarterback. His welfare stealing ass. But the thing is, they said something on the program that you had said 24 hours earlier that watch out for Minnesota because they're going to be running the Rams offense with a new head coach. They're not doing that Zimmer defensive ball, run the ball 3 yards in the cloud of dust no more. They were screaming open Jefferson, and he was wide open several times. Wide open.
Another thing tomorrow, can Patrick Peterson cover A.J. Brown? This is going to be a
hell no, he can't cover A.J. Brown. So
we
Mike,
about to see, and Minnesota had 4 sacks, so they got a fearless rush up front, and they're going to have your boy running for his life.
Now he'll run to daylight though. Hurts will run to daylight.
Center, I'm not going to ever root for any team that he is the quarterback of.
Mike, who has a bigger day on Monday night? Let's go fantasy real quick. Jefferson or Brown?
Dang, I'm gonna go with Eagles secondary, so I'm gonna go Brown.
All right, what about you, Tasha? Jefferson or Brown? Who has the bigger day? They both went off last week. They both went off.
Brown too.
You going with Brown, and you are. We know you going with Jefferson. I still have an affinity for Brown.
AJ went off against the Detroit Lions. I'm going off against them. I can get.
Coop, I will start you in my
Stop
flex.
it.
I will start
How
you
do
in
we
my
mute
flex if
him?
you
How
play
do we
the
mute
line.
him real quick?
I'm 50. I can go pick up.
I'm a man. I'm 50.
Who has the Lions stop? Think about it, guys. Y'all talking about AJ beat Detroit? That's like beating Pearl Cone.
Ladies and gentlemen out there that's watching, I hope y'all are enjoying this as much as I am. They got me cracking up today. They all had a good night's sleep and a big cup of May Jane's coffee. Y'all are on fire today. So let's go to the survival pool. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something new right here at the extra point. Instead of just doing picks, because I started to realize they're getting all the damn picks right. So we got to spice this up a little bit. Like, for real. We go back 3 weeks. Y'all missed like 2 games combined. So let's do this a little bit different this time. We're going to play a survival pool. You get one team to pick to win this week. If your team wins, you play again next week. If your team loses, you're out. No point spread, just head up. So I will start things off, and I'm going with the Rams. I got the Rams to beat the Atlanta Falcons. They've waited 10 long days to watch all of that Buffalo highlights of smacking them around. They got Marcus Mariota coming into town, and they get it done against the Atlanta Falcons. Mike, you're up.
Hey, Paul, you're going to be out week 1, man.
You got the Falcons beating the Rams.
I'm going to go with the Bills against the Titans.
You going home, bro. You going home, bro. King for the send you home, bro.
Money line, let's go.
Tasha, who you got?
I got the Steelers over the Patriots.
Woo, you betting on black early, huh?
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I'm glad we got different picks, too, because that's going to spice things up. And Coop, last but not least.
Trubisky's going to break her hard, though. I got the 49ers.
Ooh.
Over the Seahawks.
Yeah, that Seahawks mess last week, y'all. Don't get caught up in that.
I'm getting
Gino
caught up
gonna
in it.
show you who Gino.
You Gino gonna turn to Eugene.
Yeah.
49ers, they are a 9-point favorite.
Good stuff, Mike. They're a 9-point favorite. Okay, so just for the record, I got the Rams, who's a 10-point favorite at home. Mike is going with the 10-point favorite Buffalo Bills. Tasha is going with who you going with again?
Pittsburgh.
No, I really forgot. Okay, the Pittsburgh.
I'm going with the man who showed up to the plane with the black Air Forces on.
Hey, he gave them black Air Forces,
and that would be an upset because Patriots are 2.5 favorite.
Yeah.
That's okay, Tasha. You stand up the courage of your conviction.
Y'all keep counting black out.
I like that pick.
Anytime your head coach show up to the plane with some black Air Force Ones on, he mean business.
That is true. Because when you stop it, Mike, because when you put on some black Air Forces, you ready to fight.
Yeah.
Like you ain't worried about nobody stepping on your shoe. You ready to swing. So good stuff by y'all. Now, Mike, let's start with you. Who you shouting out this week before we get started with another slate of college football?
I'm gonna shout out to all the homeowners that need to do stuff for their house. Since there aren't any, I was thinking, I saw the script today or yesterday, and I was like, man, why aren't we talking about college football? Looked at the schedule. Oh, there's no games this weekend.
I'm right here with you, bro.
So I'm like, go ahead and do what y'all need to do today. Get the stuff done so y'all can watch some football tomorrow.
Yes. Shouts out to the honeydew list for today. Tasha, who you shouting out?
I got 3 shout outs. The first one is to my lovely husband who celebrated his 56th birthday on Wednesday.
He's Lawrence Taylor.
I hate you. He does not like Facebook, as he calls it, Facegram or Instabook. My second shout out is to one Miss Jackie Griffin, who is an Ohio fan, who is going to her first Michigan game in the big house, because remember I told you guys, Miles, that's how I met his mother, his parents, through Jackie. Yeah. So should play today against UConn. So a big busload of them left Brentwood and are up in Ann Arbor now. And thirdly, my shout out goes to everyone, including myself, who will be affected by the tropical storm / hurricane Fiona. Don't worry about me, guys. I live on the North Coast, so I am blocked by the mountain. I will get a lot of heavy rain and wind, but no direct effect. So shouts out to everyone who may be affected, and I hope everyone will be safe.
All right, cool.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I missed one. My sister's birthday was yesterday, so I gotta give her a shout out. Yeah, that's my bad.
Happy birthday, Sister Hassan.
Yeah, my bad.
Hey, all right, cool. Who you shouting out?
Hey, my shouts go out to the Sun Belt Conference for looking good this first couple of seasons.
He is so slick. He being slick right now.
Hey, also shout out to the big game tonight, TSU versus MTSU in the Borough.
Nice.
And last shot is my dad told me to lay off the Dallas Cowboys. He loves the Cowboys. He called me yesterday. And he called me yesterday and said, "Hey man, y'all need to lay off the Cowboys. Talk about somebody else." So shout out to Pop.
Hey, that's
we
a
ain't gonna
good
do
man.
that. But I love you.
Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Donaldson, they are some good people. Shouts out to the whole Donaldson clan. Shouts out to Rodney. Shouts out to the sisters. Shouts out to everybody. All right, my shout out, y'all, is going to the three of y'all today. It's going to the Fugees. It's going to Praz. It's going to Wyclef, and it's going to Lauren over here. Y'all have literally entertained me for the last 55 minutes and 34 seconds. I've been cracking up over here. Y'all was backing it up with stats. I love the research. I love the energy today. I had the best seat in the house. This was very, very fun. I'm going to enjoy going through these clips to chop up some reels today. So with that being said, we're about an hour away from college kickoff. You know how we get down. We'll be here right back in 6 days and 23 hours or so. Until then, go Blue, go Titans.
Go Blue.
Go Irish. We need one bad, baby.
Somebody's on a lifeline.
Going to win for the Irish.
Thank you.